how can you become really wealthy over time? What are some of the giant pitfalls that people run into, that people fall into, where they don't realize they're doing something that could devastate their long-term wealth? And where should you put your time and your resources? That's what we're going to talk about here today. Recently, I was talking with a friend who's a couple years older than me, runs a very, very successful business, has been in investing before this business for years. And we were talking about what people do wrong, what normal people do wrong. We were even talking about market timing and that kind of stuff. And he said a few things to me that really resonated, some stuff that I've been saying in other videos, just maybe not as directly or putting it all in one place. But here are some tips that will make you really wealthy over time, really rich. It will make you more, I think, more well-educated than a lot of people in finance. And some of the tricks, and not the tricks that you think, it's actually the opposite of the tricks that you think. People always think that there's some way of getting rich quick. You can invest in some altcoin, some stock, make 1,000x returns. And while that does happen, that's not your main goal. Let me walk you through it. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you can see future videos like this. Let me know if you like these types of videos. I was so amped up to do this video, I had to stand. I usually sit down, I had to stand, but let's get into it. So many people are wondering whether we're going to go into a recession, whether this is the start of some big dip in the market, whether it's a good time to invest in crypto. And we see new people come into crypto all the time. And I get comments like that. Hey, I just joined crypto. Do you think it's better to wait now for another big dip, or just to buy now? Because I don't want to miss out. And even I fall into that kind of, I'm curious what other people think about the market. I do have some cash. And let me be clear, I consistently buy into the market all the time. Like every week, I buy into the market. But I do have cash on the sideline. So I'm just kind of curious. It's fun to talk about that kind of stuff. But if you're someone that's sitting on the sidelines now, and you're not investing regularly, I think you're making a big mistake. This is something that I talked about with that friend. One of the biggest things that prevents people from winning long term is not having any money in the game, not investing consistently. It's fun to talk about, if we're going to go into a market crash, obviously you can buy more Bitcoin if you sell out now and then we fall 30%. But the biggest thing that stops people long term is that they don't have money in the market. And muscle memory is really the most important thing. It's like playing a sport, right? You can mess around. It's fun to shoot different ways in basketball. Maybe it's cool if you time it at the perfect time and shoot a fadeaway and swish, make a great shot in front of everyone. Everyone thinks that you're a great shooter. But can you do it consistently? Probably not, especially if you're not a really good basketball player already. And that's kind of like investing. You might be able to time it perfectly once, but 99 out of 100 times you're going to miss. And it's cool to look good, but wouldn't you rather take an easy shot? Wouldn't you rather just invest into the market consistently over time than try to time it perfectly? I think that makes a lot of sense for most people. So instead of trying to time the next dip, just consistently buy. Now, before we go any further, I want to thank partner of the channel, Hydra. So Hydra is a really interesting crypto that's a proof of stake blockchain optimized for real world businesses. It tackles some of the most profound and challenging issues with existing blockchain economies and introduces a truly shared economy with fair treatment for all network participants. They have 841 total nodes across the world with about $8 million worth of total assets staked. One of the things that they have to offer is delegated staking. Now users are able to delegate their wallets to a super staker of their choice, and the super stakers are the service providers who run the nodes 24/7. So you don't have to go and run your own node. This can make it a lot easier for you. You still get to hold your keys, and yet you get the APY. Now, the APY right now is around 40%. Now, this will most likely go down in the future. The thing is, they can provide this now, so it's a good opportunity if you do have this token or if you want to buy this token. But as time goes on, obviously, it's going to become more mature, which honestly I like to see. So if you don't have the Hydra wallet installed yet, you can use the links underneath the video and you can check out the company. You can check out their Twitter. I'll leave all that underneath the video. When you sign up and delegate your wallet, all Hydra inside the wallet are delegated by default. You can always take that out or put more in because your coins are never locked, which is something that's great to see as well. Now you can do this through the desktop browser. You can do this through your phone. Now I just downloaded the wallet from the App Store and I really like how clean and simple it is. I think that a lot of people get overwhelmed, and I think this has a very sleek design that's very intuitive and simple, which I really like to see. Now, thank you so much to Hydra Chain for sponsoring this part of the video. As always, do your own research, and I would definitely check them out underneath the video. I have tons of links down there in case you want to try out their wallet, or just follow them over on Twitter or check out their website. The next thing people wonder is, well, if I consistently buy, how can I get outsized returns, right? Do I have to invest in small altcoins, time it perfectly, or just buy the right altcoin in general? Because we do see a lot of altcoins move up significantly. Keep in mind, though, we do have 10,000 cryptocurrencies, more than that now. So the ones that are towards the top kind of have survivorship bias. They have been super successful, but it's really hard to invest in smaller altcoins and consistently get good returns. Now, some people spread their money over a bunch of altcoins, but I think for most people, it's really hard to devote the time, and even if you devote the time, to really get a good return on trying to research a ton of different cryptos and having a large portfolio. I think for most people, it probably makes more sense to try to get a larger shovel. Basically, try to get a larger income. And I realize that's easier said than done. It's not sexy as sitting on your computer and researching and watching. And, I talk about a lot of different cryptos. I talk about a lot of different stocks on this channel. And that's something that I love to do. But if it's stopping you from growing your income stream, if you could be spending hours on some side hustle, on getting a promotion, learning a new skill that can provide you some more income, then it's getting in the way a bit, right? The most important thing is to get a higher income. Now, I will continue to make videos on all different kinds of cryptos, but I've said this in the past that income is key. Income is king. Let's take this for an example. Let's say you started at 20 or 25, whatever you want to say, and you accumulated for 40 years. You consistently bought into the market. You bought $7,500 a year. So let's just say, for this instance, you make 75 grand a year. You're able to consistently invest 10%. Let's say you get a rate of return of 10% on this. So we'll even say this is after inflation. So you're basically getting 12%, 13%, something like that, which is outperforming the market, but you're spending a good amount of time researching and doing that kind of work to get it. Now, what if you spent some time, maybe a little bit more time, maybe half the time you spend on investing, half the time you spend trying to increase your income. And let's say you're able to get a 10% increase in your wages or 10% increase by getting some kind of side hustle, and you just invest that extra 10%. So now you're making, instead of 75,000, you're making 82,500, but now you're able to invest that extra money. And instead of making 10% rate of return, let's say you just make 8%. So in that first example, you would have had a pretty decent nest egg. In this example, you would have $3.88 million. In the last one, I didn't even show it. In the last one, you would have $3.3 million. So either way, you're going to be well off. But in the second scenario, just with a 10% increase, you can increase your retirement savings by about 15%. We're talking about $500,000 here. And I think that this is kind of underestimating how much you can increase your income. A 10% increase, if you're spending hours a week doing this for 40 years, you can make more than 10% more. You can either find a new job or gain a new skill, and you can increase your income by more than that. Now, I realize some people, they love their jobs, they love where they work, they love what they do, and they think they can't get an increase in income. So maybe you want some kind of side hustle. Maybe you want some kind of side business. Maybe you want to be a YouTuber as well, something like that. And I think it's just important to remember, you can also decrease your expenses. That's not as sexy either, but it's something you can do right now without having to move jobs. So just make sure that you're shoveling a lot of money into investments. You're not trying to time it. And then find something you're good at understanding. If you are someone that doesn't understand the stock market, but you understand crypto, that's great. I think those are pretty closely tied, but it's possible you can understand one a lot more than the other. If you understand real estate, fantastic. You're going to make tons of money. If you understand business, that's fine too. Just find something that you're good at and really try to dive deep, because some of the most well-paid people do one thing really well. And they don't have to do much else, but they do one thing really well. And that can make you tons of money. And then spend more time looking at the macro. I think a lot of us like to look at, again, small altcoins, smaller stocks, while really we should be thinking larger than that. Where is the stock market going? Where's crypto going? And instead of spending so much time trying to invest in smaller cryptocurrencies, and maybe you still want to spend some money in those smaller cryptocurrencies, I think the majority should go into something safe. Now, I say safe, I'm talking about Bitcoin. Like if you're investing into crypto, I think the important thing is, if you're bullish on crypto in the first place, is to put enough money there, but still, feel comfortable with it, but funnel enough money there. If you put it in Bitcoin versus Solana, right, or Cardano or whatever it is, the average altcoin, they're going to do about the same in the next market. The key is having enough money in it. The key is having enough money in the market, feeling comfortable with that, not finding the 1 in 100 crypto that's going to balloon up. Now, of course, that's great. That's super fun. It can make a big difference. But a lot of us just see the people that have made millions from some small crypto, but we don't see all the people that lost a lot of money from all the other cryptos. So I think it will probably save you money if you invest the majority of your portfolio in something stable that still has great potential, like Bitcoin, but you won't have all the heartaches and all the problems of some of the smaller cryptos. You won't have to go through major altcoin bleedings. You feel comfortable at night. Now, this isn't supposed to be some roast on altcoins, but this can be taken the same way for stocks, right? You can invest in smaller companies as well, but if the economy does well, Google, Amazon, Tesla, those companies are going to do really well too. So the key is make enough money, be comfortable putting in the market, understand what you're actually buying, and make sure that you continue to grow that income stream over time. And just, I'd say continue to pay attention to crypto, because you need to feel comfortable with how you're investing, with what you're investing in, with what's happening, what could happen positively or negatively. But also you have to think big picture, not just looking at the day-to-day, but thinking, okay, why am I investing in Bitcoin again? Am I comfortable with the risk that it has, the inherent risk? And everything else the same way, right? If you have a house and you have, let's say you have a 20% down payment on this house, but that's 80% of your net worth. Are you comfortable with that? Would you rather have more invested into stocks or crypto or something like that? So think bigger picture, continue to funnel more and more money into the market, continue to grow that income, and continue to hit subscribe and the like button underneath this video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on this. Again, it's just kind of a rant, but this is some stuff that I've been thinking about recently. I think a lot of people just get too hyper-focused on something, try to figure out the exact right time to buy a small stock or small crypto when they could be spending time somewhere else that could provide a better ROI. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.